Okay, we're here with a 2250 point battle, Vampire Counts and Skaven. We have the Battle for the Pass scenario. The board is set up with the Vampire Counts on this side, with a Haunted Mansion here, an Undetermined Forest there. We're using the Fulcrum to represent a Tower of Blood. The base of the forest there is a marsh, one that gives regeneration 6+. The tower in the back there is a just normal building. And you can't see it from here, but on the other side is a Banestone. And then we have another forest down there. That's it for terrain. For the Vampire Counts, for what they have in their army, we have 2 blocks of ghouls over here. They got a pregame march with the closer group of ghouls has a vampire leading them, a thrall, and a necromancer leading the furthest group. There's some direwolves down there next to them. Corpse cart there. Those little guys in the middle are some ethereal Cairn Wraiths. There's a skeleton unit and a bunker for my Caster Lord right there. And then on the far side we have 30 Graveguard and a Vargolf, which you can't quite see from here, and another group of direwolves. Zach, what do you have for the Skaven?
So going from closest to furthest, we have a unit of Skaven Slaves, which is using Spearmen for, a unit of Jezzails, a unit of Clan Rats with a Screaming Bell with a Grey Seer in it. We're using a Chariot to represent the Screaming Bell right now. They have a Warp Fire Thrower attached to them. Next to them is a unit of Plague Monks. In front of them is a Doom Wheel. Next to them is the Battle Standard Bearer Chieftain with a unit of Clan Rats with a Warp Fire Thrower in front of them. Next to them is another unit of Clan Rats with a Warlock Engineer with a Warp Fire Thrower in front of them. Then a Helped Abomination, Rat Ogres with a Master Molder on the far end, and a Warp Lightning Cannon in back.
Sounds good. Vampires get to go first. End of Vampire turn 1 was pretty much to be expected, just a little bit of movement and magic. Direwolves on the far side moved up with the Vargolf, so did the Graveguard. Same with the Caster Lord. The Cairn Wraiths are buried in the marsh. Ghouls moved up on this side, so did the Corpse Cart. The Thrall over here cast Van Hells on the Direwolves that are far up on now, have started going around the side of the Slaves. That went off the Irresistible Force, killed a few ghouls, but the Calamitous Detonation didn't actually hurt him. So, yeah, just to be expected for turn 1. Now we're going to Skaven turn 1. Okay, so we're at the end of Skaven magic and shooting, going into close combat. For movement, on the far side here, we have the Rat Ogres and the Helped Abomination charge the Direwolves up there. Vargolf's in the back, so those guys are going to be toast. We had Cairn Wraiths in the middle here, but what ended up happening was during the magic phase, Warp Lightning went off and killed, did like 3 wounds on them. Then
did 5 wounds.
Yeah, some amount of wounds. And then guys in the middle, is a Warp Fire Thrower, is that?
Yeah.
Right there. He shot them and torched them, and then you can't exactly see it here off to the side, but the Doom Wheel also shot and finished him off. Probably not in that order. Skaven cast Blessed with Filth on the Jezzails, who took a shot at the Direwolves. So did the Warp Fire Thrower also, so they're down to 2 left on the side. And then way up in the back, the... what's that called, Zach?
Warp Lightning Cannon.
Warp Lightning Cannon basically did a shot, hit where the first dice is out here and bounced, and then, or it was aimed for there, hit, bounced, and so basically did a small round, killed 4 ghouls there. That's it. We're going into close combat for Skaven. Okay, so end of close combat for the Skaven. The Helped Abomination and the Rat Ogres charged the Direwolves and just destroyed them. But as part of it, the Helped Abomination also basically hit one of the Rat Ogres in base contact with for 2 wounds. They both overran, so the Abomination's sitting there next to the Graveguard. And the Rat Ogres overran to the Vargolf, but did not do any wounds to him. They unbelievably rolled badly. Vargolf did 3 wounds. They rolled 2 ones and held. So that's going to be pretty bad for the Vargolf next turn. So Vampire turn 2. Okay, this is the end of Vampires. Magic, movement, and shooting phases. We had the Graveguard over there managed to charge the flank of the Helped Abomination. Vargolf is still in combat with the Rat Ogres. The Vampire and his Skeleton Bunker garrisoned in the building. We have down here basically both groups of ghouls charged the slaves, and the Corpse Cart moved up. During magic, the Corpse Cart was able to always strike first off on all of them. The dire wolves in the back there, charge the flank of the Giselles, and in the middle, it's kind of hard to see here, we created a new unit through Summon Undead Horde of 19 zombies, which is basically right next to, just kind of on the side of the Doom Wheel. Now we're going to go into close combat. Okay, an interesting combat for the vampires. The Vargolf was basically
a hero.
Yeah, he whooped the rat ogres and overran them, pursued them and caught them really. So he's out there.
Took one wound.
Even on the flank, the Graveguard got avalanche of flesh. They got absolutely destroyed. Did
Plus the
25, plus a thunderstorm, 25 wounds. We did. Are there 4 wounds on him or 4 wounds remaining?
There are 4 wounds on him.
4 wounds on him, so it's not looking good. I'd feel much better if it were my turn to cast next. In the middle, or on the far side here, basically the slaves got pretty much wiped out, but they didn't get completely wiped out, so they broke, did their little slave explosion, did 2 wounds to each unit and 1 to the corpse cart, and then my guys pursued, and that's where they ended up. So now we're going into Skaven turn 2. Okay, this is the end of Skaven movement, magic, and shooting. For movement, we had basically nothing down here. This is all close combat. We had the Plague Monks charge the ghouls. The Doom Wheel wheeled around this tight area and slammed into basically the rear of the ghouls there. It's a little odd to see from this angle. For movement, that's it, I believe.
The Screaming Bell moved up a little bit.
Oh, yeah.
Nothing significant.
During Magic, the Screaming Bell casts Scorch on the back rank of ghouls back there with the vampire. And is that what killed the vampire?
Yeah, he failed his lookout, sir.
Right, yeah, they did probably, I think, like 12, 14 wounds, something like that.
Right, it was the Warpfire.
The Warpfire.
The Warpfire through. Yeah, so they did some wounds there, and the vampire was okay. For Magic, then Plague did not go off.
Wither was dispelled.
Yeah, Wither was dispelled.
Blessed with Filth got cast on the Plague Monks.
Yeah, so the Plague Monks who are flanking the ghouls over there now are having poison attacks. And they're all frenzied and have hatred from the... I don't remember. Yeah, Tower of Blood's in there. It's the Fulcrum. Something else happened in Magic. It was very dangerous. Maybe it was just shooting.
That was
it for Magic. For shooting, we had Warpfire everywhere.
Warpfire killed the Vargolf.
Yep, just down the
No, I'm sorry. Warpfire hit the Vargolf, but he made his regen.
Warp Lightning killed the Vargolf.
The cannon killed the Vargolf.
Yeah.
The zombies got hit with the Warpfire thrower, and then that Farghoul unit also got
the
hit.
Farghoul unit with the battle standard Thrall there, he got toasted, and so those guys are looking pretty bad. So now we're going into close combat. End of bloody combat. Believe it or not, the Graveguard over there managed to definitely avoid most of the attacks and killed the Hell Pit Abomination. It did not come back to life, which is about the first time that this Skaven player has ever not had him come back.
I know, it's brutal.
Over here, the Plague Monks and the Doom Wheel, the ghouls got some hits in, but it was expected. They got destroyed. Combat Resolution just destroyed what was left big time. It was like, 12 extra wounds or something.
Those heroic Giselles killed one of those dogs.
That's true. The dogs are still holding them up, though, so they can't shoot and utterly wipe this out. And the Plague Monks have overran down here. That's about it. Going to go to what's left of the Vampire's turn. Well, it was at this point that the Vampires conceded. Actually, in reality, our wives came home, and we ended up having to spend some time talking with them. So this is cleanup after everyone's gone. But the Vampires basically conceded. Everything went pretty much in line for the Skaven. It really worked well. I felt pretty good about my setup in the beginning and just facing. But man, the Battle for the Pass really helped. The narrow walls really helped them focus fire, and I just had a lot of bad luck in combat. Things didn't go my way, and it was a victory for the Skaven.